minutes late. But I had a very interesting spreadsheet problem. I solved it. So, there. Here we go. Okay. So, where does that leave us this morning? I think that leaves us building some broken boats, I think. Mech Bay time. Got that hunchback, and we're building a catapult. Why do I feel like the catapult probably isn't the greatest laser boat ever to work? But it probably replaces the SRMs that we're running on the summoner. All right, fitting goals for this morning. Yes. Wait, ignore optimal headgear? Why would I ignore optimal headgear? It's a terrible fitting goal. Who wrote that goal? Wasn't fucking me, that's for sure. Would never write ignore optimal. Oh, that's why. Because I don't mean ignore the best fitting gear. I mean ignore gear that cares about optimal. Ah! Makes much more sense. Okay. Hey, Scott. Good morning. I think we break the game today, by the way. But we'll see. We'll see how good it is. I think there's going to be a little bit of Mech Bay contribution this morning, too, because I'm pretty sure Small Boy gets all of his missiles taken off again. It's got to work somewhere more Kula. I think my understanding is there's two types of melee. If you're looking at melee damage, I think it works this way. There's two types of melee damage. There's base melee damage and end melee damage. For example, on our Wolverine, the claw adds 66 base damage at the end of the calculation, or rather the spiked axe does. But the claws themselves actually add 10 base melee damage. All the math is multiplicative, and you don't add bonuses, you multiply bonuses. So two 10% modifiers is times 1.1 times 1.1. And versus vehicles, it's a 50% damage modifier. So I think that's how that works. Still didn't add up for you? We could do it on stream if we were really interested to see if we could get it to work. Good morning, Dedith. Good morning, Care Bear. Let's have a quick look at it and see, because now I'm curious. We've been meaning to calculate this anyways. It's probably going to be a little bit of Mech Bay this morning. We know there's going to be a little bit of Mech Bay this morning. Half the fun in the game is building your stuff before you test it. 3/4 of your fun. Okay, this is Spine Taker here. All right, where do we get these numbers from? Let's also just double check there aren't any piloting perks that fuck with this. I don't think there are, but we'll do that. We got to make sure we check that in the end. All right, so we've got 4 arm pieces, 2 lowers, or rather 2 lower arms at 10% each, 2 upper arms at 10% each. Okay. And those are 1.1 each. We've got a lower arm at 1.1. And then we've got a lower melee at 2. And then we have a claws at 1.4. Got a spiked axe at 1.06. We've got a spiked boot at 1.05. I don't think any of our lasers add to melee damage. Okay. Hey, Greater Fool, good morning. Alright, I think that's it for bonuses. Our base melee damage is 55. Chassis is minus 27. And then we have... There's actual real damage on this. We're looking for base damage first. Base damage on the claws is 10. Is there any else for base damage? Spike Boots has some base damage on it, right? 5. And the Spiked Axe has none. So that's 15 base damage, is that right? No other bonuses? Okay. Alright. Alright, and then the final is plus 66, right? Okay, so see if any of these numbers make any sense. First of all, let's sanity check on the melee, because it does do this for us.
New subscriber arrives. It fills you with determination.
JB from 2, thanks. Probably TO. JB from TO. Thanks for the Twitch Prime sub. Alright, 55. So we're going to ignore, I don't think that number really tells us anything, right? So what we actually have is 55 and 10 and 15, bringing us to 70. 70 minus 27. Chassis modifier is ignored for melee damage. That's gonna be annoying as fuck to calculate that way. But let's. Okay, well we can do some calculations to see which one fits.
Returned.
Let me prime sub laps by a day. Signed on. Saw ad. Had to fix that immediately.
You know,
Smiley face.
this is part of being an adult random guy somewhere, is understanding that you make mistakes and you do your best to rectify them. And I appreciate you taking action here as soon as you possibly could. Well done. All right, so 2 arms in this is then a... So we've got X times 1.1, 1.1 for the 2 arms, 1.1 lower arm, 1.2 melee arm, 1.4 claws, 1.06 axe, 1.05 boots. Alright, so what is that actual modifier then? One point one times 1.1 times 1.1 times 1.2 times 1.4 times 1.06 times 1.05. So we've got a 2.48 or 2.488. Call it 2.49 mod. And did anyone remember the damage we did in the last mission, or was willing to check the VOD to see her melee damage? We were doing 201. All right, so we have a couple numbers that should work together here. So first things first. Let's just try the base damage. We'll say the chassis thing's a bug. So base damage is 55 plus 15. Oh shit! You know what I should have done? I should have memory stored that. Let me do that instead, because then I can get exact numbers without having to say it on stream. All right. Okay, so I got a 2.48. That's fine. We'll put that in calculator, and then it's that. So we can do 70 times that plus 66 gives me 240. You said we're doing 201. Well, what's 240? I bet you it's just the chassis quirk is in there. So if we take base plus base, multiply it by our mod, then add final, we're getting 240. All right, let's say we did it the other way then. Let's say we took it as it says, take the base plus our pre-damage stuff minus the chassis quirk, then multiply that by our math, and then add 66. That doesn't even come close. I get 173 for that. Let's say chassis is a final damage modifier then instead of a base modifier. So let's say we get 55 plus 15 times our multiplier plus 66 minus 27. That gets me 213. 213 is looking pretty close, but we're not there yet. Yeah, I see your hesitation as to where the fuck the math is coming from. Any other way this could have been? Tonnage over 2 is what? Is the modifier. But 55 and 27 are basically the same. Should have added 35. Should have added 10, but added like 35 for the lower melee. The comparison would be really nice. So you're saying this did 201 with this existing, and prior to the lower melee arm actuator, we were doing, what did you say, 160 something? 166? $166 off of that. That's a unexpectedly large bonus because the final modifier just dividing by 1.1 is essentially what we're doing, right? I guess I can divide by 1.2 and then multiply by 1.1 to get back. Is a 2.28 modifier. Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense exactly where that number is coming from, does it? We can get ballpark, but we can't hit exact, and we should be hitting it exact. It also makes it very difficult to compare a second claws versus a spiked axe. At some point, the second claws should be better. Might even be now. We could try. You want to just try it and see what it says the number is? So okay, do we guarantee? All right, let's solve it, dude. Let's answer the question. So if we go to command center, we have mission. This is just a load. Let's just double check that we've got these numbers correct. Okay. So this is, we should also check piloting. There's no stupid piloting skills affecting this, right? Because that would be a really annoying kick in the nuts if you spend all the time trying to figure out what's going on with this and there's just a piloting skill. Rogue pilot stats explained. I'll look at piloting and gunnery, or piloting and guts. I don't see anything talking about melee damage. I see a lot of melee accuracy, but I don't see anything about melee damage.
Command interface initiated.
Morning, Thirsty. All right, let's take a quick look.
Let's get to fighting.
Did we get... Well, we're gonna see. I hate that all my enemies still get to act. I just want to see my mech. Come on. Come on. Jesus, what was our initiative roll? Like 100 minus 110? 10. We rolled 10 initiative. We literally have to wait. Oh my god. Okay. Sure. This is a mech-based stream. The next level of mech baying is we launch missions to get information to feed back into the mech bay, which is what we're doing right now. Bro. It's not Xanadu. This is the Seltman riding in this mech. Literally stole the mech. Dude, they're gonna like. Apparently, our allies are 6 VTOLs, making this life extremely excruciating. But I do want to look because if we're doing numbers and it's not working out, but we've got the wrong numbers we're supposed to be working out, that's a problem. Hey, Ben. Okay, finally, no. It's like 12 enemies left. Yes, stomp on the sports car. Meanwhile, my sanity decreasing. How annoyed would you be if you lent someone your self-repairing mech and it came back with scratches? Holy shit. We made a mistake, chat. I actually wonder if we should hold one person who has that annoying quirk thing to maximize our chances of getting rolls at the whatever it is, the pirate market, or the fuck's called black market. Holy shit, that wasn't easy, was it? 201. Yeah. All right, what ways can we get to 201? I mean, this is just a math problem, right? So with a 2.49 modifier, a base of 55, 15 extra base, and 66 final. How do we get to 201? No, that works right there. The math fucking works right now. What are we talking about? Why is this a problem? Wait, where does it? All right, 55 base plus 15, 70 times 2.49. It's 174 plus 66. That goes too high. What if we just ignore the plus base? Because that worked, right? 55 times the modifier. Yeah, you want to know what adds up almost to 201? Is base damage times our 2.49 modifier plus 66. Adds up to 202. Which might just be coincidence. Does ignore all the plus base damage. I mean, that would be a bug that could happen, though. The base damage not applying correctly. Doesn't happen in the previous build. What was the previous build you said? It was 191. Also didn't look at that. What if base is out? What if that chassis quirk's a final modifier too? Wait, what? Where did the fucking number come from? It's 55 and 15. All right, I somehow didn't get that right the first time. 55 and 15 times our modifier. Yeah, because sometimes when I fucking put this in the goddamn oh, I'm doing divided. That's why. Explains it. All right. Stupid thing. He says the quirk doesn't exist. All the quirks are the same. All the mechs are the same in melee. Then our numbers really don't make any sense. Because then we have 55 base plus 15 times our modifiers, which gives us 174 plus 66, which gives us 240. But we're showing 201. Thanks, little. Morning. That really makes no sense then. Unless some of these modifiers are not right. Let's say final damage modifier is not working. Still get higher than we're getting. It's kind of annoying. But we were solving it previously at 191, so that's okay. That was the other thing we wanted to look at, was if we solved it previously, what was happening with that. The only difference was a 1.1 modifier as opposed to lower melee, right? We're not looking at damage numbers on them, Tom. We're looking on we're just looking at tooltip representations. All right, so what was the other one then? So the other one would be, it's not a 2.49 mod, it's a 1.1 times 1.1 times 1.1 times 1.1. 1.4 times 1.06 times 1.05. What is the 1.06 and 1.05 from? The 1.06 is the spiked axe, and the 1.05 is the boot, right? Okay. So that mod then is a 2.28 mod. Okay. And you said the final damage number was 191. And all the rest was the same. Well, can we make that number work? Let's say we do it the way it's supposed to be, which is 55 plus 15 times the modifier plus 66 minus the chassis modifier gives us 198, which is higher than we're getting. What if we do it as part of the base? 55 plus 15 minus 27 for 43 times the modifier plus 66 gives us 164. Neither of those numbers fucking add up. Final damage modifier, final damage number was 166 in mission. That adds up. Well, we get 164 if the chassis quirk is there. So 55 base damage plus 15 base damage is 70, minus the 27 from the chassis is 43, times the modifier gives us 98, plus 66 gives us 164. And 164 is pretty close to 66, but it's not perfect. But if we do that order of operations, right, if that's the way it happens, then what we should be getting for this one is, should be getting 55 minus 27 plus 15 times 2.49 plus 66. Or we should only be getting like 173, and we're getting 201. Yeah, that's kind of fucked. And you know what else is fucking annoying about this? Is inevitably it's going to come down to there's a bug with such and such. So us spending much time figuring out actually kind of fucks us. The other thing I wanted to, well, you know, on that basis, you know what I actually want to do? I want to see what the tooltip number it gives me for double clauses right now. I actually, you can solve this pretty easily mathematically when those equal each other, but since we don't know the actual order, just kind of curious what this is doing for us. All right, we're gonna wait one more day and get Nobu back so we have someone with decent initiative for the next one. And I guess we just need anyone to go first here, right? So presumably, actually, we should bring as many people as we can. So we just need anyone to get an initiative roll high enough so I can select Nobu. Okay. All right. Would it matter if the different melee modifiers apply independently and round up? I mean, have you guys tried, dude, if we add the mods, so the problem is actually we're not getting high enough numbers, right? So multiplicative is the higher of the things. If you additively combine the bonuses, then multiply, you're getting less than a multiplicative bonus. What does that work out to be though? Say you buy the fact the chassis is not there. What are the additive for those equal? So that's a 1.1 plus 1.1 plus 1.1 plus 1.2 plus 1.4 plus 1.06 plus 1.05. So we're getting an 8. Well, 8. I guess we wouldn't add the whatever it is. We'd add the, excuse me, 0.1 plus 0.1 plus 0.1 plus 0.2 plus 0.4 plus 0.06 plus 0.05. So this is a 2.01. All right, and if we did that with the chassis stuff, does it make any difference? Problem is it's still too low, right? But ignoring the chassis. So we say 55 plus 15 times 2.01 plus 66. We're nowhere near it. Okay.
Command interface initiated.
Yeah, I was just looking at other, because the numbers are always like ballpark Morkula, but not exact, you know? Like we're getting like, so I'm kind of curious if I was looking to see if I could find another way in which that arose. All right, so, okay, this melee damage. When we drop the axe and go double claws. Wait, did the damage just change? Did it just change? Didn't it say like 2 damage like 1 second ago?
Standing by.
All right, there's some calculation going on there, but okay, we can get it to 139 with double claws. Does that shed any light on this? So, all right, 1.4 times 1.4 times 1.1 times 1.1 times 1.1 times 1.2 times 1.05 times 1.06. Is that right? Yes. All right. And then if we go 55 minus 27 times memory recall, doesn't even come close. What if we go just 55 times memory recall? 191, is that what we're getting here? No. I don't know, man. Those numbers don't seem to make sense based on what we're being told. Yeah, but none of those numbers reflect the tooltip we're getting in game, right? No, it's not math has failed us. It's definitely Battletech has failed us somewhere. It remains my biggest issue with Roguetech is the bugs. Try adding them one at a time until the math stops making sense. Yeah, that would potentially solve that, but I don't want to go through that. That's a lot of load time for that answer. Sorry, Markula. I think we'll have to move on past that for today's stream. But I appreciate you bringing to my attention that it doesn't fucking make any sense. All right. Morning, Feilong. Yeah, so that would be the next thing I would try as well. Is I would simplify the amount of equipment you're using as soon as possible, and add equipment, calculate until you get a number that's different. If you could do it in skirmish mode, I don't think you can get skirmish. But if you could do it in skirmish mode, you could literally do that, right? You could set up 4 mechs simultaneously and then launch once to get that information. So it could be 4 identical mechs, but you have one with, you know, the hand pieces on, and you put one with the hand pieces and the axe, and then one with the hand pieces, the axe, and the arm piece until you get until you start to see where it breaks down for the math. That's fine. It's not frustration. We're just, I had a very reasonable question of how come the melee math doesn't add up? And the answer seems to be because the melee math doesn't add up. All right. But we are going to mech bay a little bit, but we probably want to do some actual mech baying. So the kind of goals we have today, we want to refit this hunchback. This hunchback probably wants to be a autocannon murder boat. That's what I'm imagining. Cannot add clan ferrofibers, not the, oh, because stupid engine. There's no way we want stupid engine in here either. This is gonna be either, do we have XL? XL? We do. We also have a light. I want this guy fairly quick. I'd love to run that, but it's pretty clear we're not going to be able to. And then endo. Okay, so that's the basics of our weight back. It's a good starting point to see what we have to play with. Oh, the Pharaoh hasn't applied yet still. Thanks. Okay. Could try to build the stealth again. Neither of these have built-in heat reduction or weight reduction though. I mean, there's not a lot of build. Honestly, that's not a lot of weight built for us. Are these 2 or 3 wide? This is slot 1, the NSS, and this is slot 1, the signature dampener. So presumably we can actually run NSS instead. Requires a countermeasure, sure. We want to put countermeasures on anyways, so it's not a big loss. So let's say we made this our sneaky dude, which I'm not sure is actually what we want to do with this either because, you know, melee range, but 30% sensor stealth, initial signature reduction. 5 defense is really good. Harder to hit at medium range. Long range and extreme range is lost a lot when you brawl with it. The heat generated.
To a cicada in the robot army. Filthy 7.
Hey, give it the resub versus the equivalent of a cicada. No, you are much more valuable to me than a cicada. The cicada is literally useless. Does the signature dampener work? I'm pretty sure this requires only mimetic armor, and I don't think this is mimetic armor. We'll try. Okay. Percentage modifiers get calculated second, so the install order matters. What? So we need to strip that mech down, put the weapon on first, and then add things? Can you double check that? Or someone who has access to a game, can you double check that and see if that's true? In other words, if we reinstall mods on Nobu, does it make it stronger? Thanks, Penpen. Percentage modifiers get calculated second. After base damage, you mean? Be fucking irritating. Well, can you guys get the numbers to match on that? So I guess I don't remember when we put that piece in. Shit, do you guys want to test that? I mean, we could test that. I'm not sure the stealth really belongs on this one, honestly. The heat is fine. The heat per turn and the heat generated by weapons fire is nice, and the detection reduction is very nice. 5 sensor stealth charges is really good. It's actually the most we've seen on a stealth kit yet. The fact it weighs nothing is nice too, and it has very limited slots it takes, which is pretty nice too. The issue is this thing is going to be squishy, and I'm not sure I want to waste the stealth there. Maybe. Where's our ammo for this? This is a AC-20 ammo double. We're not quite there on this stuff either. Well, the reason why the 10% jumping a lot would actually be because we installed it after we installed the fucking arm. Heatsink in the leg is not required, thank you. We should look at anything else stuck on this thing. Oh, we get a lot of weight back off the headgear because the headgear is all primitive. And I wanted to run some BCS stuff, so let's take a look at what we can do just quickly on this. This is probably... we have a ballistic plus. Accuracy ballistics minus recoil. We could also get one of these. -1 recoil with ranged. But allows the actual ballistic stuff in here. So if we have the 2 tons, we can get 1 more accuracy with that. Autocannon, FCS. Very, very nice. Actually, that's kind of dumb. So what does this get? So the FCS AC gets us 2 accuracy and -1 recoil, right? Which is great. But it weighs nothing. Literally weighs nothing for us. Might even give us weight back. Do any of these weigh more? Weigh 1. Weighs 2. Weighs 2. So we actually have 2 tons left here. But the other thing we can do is one of these deals, one of the battle computers, basically. Targeting computers, I guess they call them. I don't want +1 recoil, so we'd add this one. So then this becomes advanced. We'd get -1 recoil there, and then we'd get both of these for another -1 recoil, and then +1 accuracy. That combined cost us 2 tons to do that. But that combined gives us a better bonus, right? I also don't know what offensive push accuracy by +1 means. See, it seems a really weird thing. I've never seen something +1. All the rest are like 10% more accurate. So the difference is either 2 recoil versus 1 accuracy, or 1 accuracy versus 2 recoil and 2 tons. One accuracy is 5%. I don't know. I think it's more than that. I'm not actually sure. The question is, how much recoil is this putting out? This is putting out 4. Weapon has a 40% jam okay. Weapon has a jam chance of recoil times 5, mitigated by gunnery and recoil reduction. All right, let's go take a look at that. We need this is Ultra AC-20. Is it called a UAC-20 or something like that? Let's search for the UAC-20. Ultra AC-20. Oh, this is the clan variant. We don't want the clan variant. Well, we do want the clan variant. We don't have one. Ultra AC-20. Jam chance on a double. Recoil of 4 on a double. But at 8 gunnery, it's only a 5% jam chance. If we get that down to 1, it's probably done. Probably means we don't actually care about the additional recoil is what I'm getting at. Jam chance of recoil times 5. So if we get this recoil down to 1, because we have 2 mitigation from piloting and 1 mitigation, or 2 mitigation from gunnery, 1 mitigation from the mech headpieces. So jam chance of 5, I guess. No, 40%. Plus that 5, I guess. We are going to want to shoot twice in a row. Yeah, but it's a weight thing, right, chat? So, okay, here's the issue, right? So, and it might just be we have to make that consideration even when we don't want to. Where's the Ultra AC-20 ammo? So this is what we got for ammo. We're going to want equipment in the head. So let's say we ran the FCS Advanced. Running sensors and cockpit. I don't think it matters what cockpit. Let's say we put that cockpit on. All right, the Angel ECM, we're still missing one of our pieces of, we need a clan active. Counters by, this gives us 1 sensor information, counters by 2. I think the active probe is just, yeah, it's 3. Counters by 3 is still 1. I don't really care about the range. Counters by 1. Is this basically identical to the clan active? It is. Just a little bit weaker. Alright, so clan active is probably fine here. So we got a couple tons to play with. And if we run ballistic and BC recoil. Wouldn't mind a case too. Probably need that case, but let's say we can strip ammo for that. And I understand it's not in the right spot. Okay, but that's basically the mech, right? We don't have more ammo. This is all the ammo we have. And it's a fair chunk, honestly. This is 12 and another 5 for 17 shots, which is okay. That ends up being the mech if we run stealth. If we run not stealth, we can probably get AMS on here as well. Is this worth something to us? I mean, it puts out decent. Isn't this the exact mech that makes the most sense having the Predator suites? No. The Bombard laser one does, in my opinion. We have too many autocannon based other headgear to waste on that. So this does grant breaching shot, which is nice, which means our Ultra AC always has breaching. Which we don't get if we run the ballistic one, although this ballistic one's pretty sweet. Get a little bit of tonnage. We get no AMS, which kind of sucks. We're super heat stable. I'm worried about the survivability. Is the NSS enough? Can we really run NSS at all? We don't care about the heat generated. We don't care about the heat per turn. Harder to hit at medium, long, and extreme range will help versus just random spam they throw at us, but doesn't help when we're actually in brawler range. 5 sensor stealth charges. Provides defense against hits and reduces targeting details. Is that really 5 defense? Is that really what that means? Jump jets. Shit. Yeah, thanks. I don't think we have any more weight for jump jets. Jump jets would have to come in through patchwork materials. Yeah, if we drop stealth, we can move to Clan Pharaoh. I'm not convinced that makes our mech more survivable. Doesn't even give us really enough weight to play with the AMS either. I mean, kind of. AMS runs. We can't even run it on this boat. This boat can't run AMS. Well, why can't it run the laser AMS? It's not a laser. It's the support weapon. I never know which. Like some of my lasers, some of my AMS seems to take support and some doesn't. So, okay. Yeah, I think the stealth and 1 jump jet's where we're gonna go, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure where we get the weight for the jump jet. That's the biggest issue. Do we care about both of these? We definitely care about -1 recoil. I mean, we could do a different realm. This doesn't weigh. Move over to FCS AC. FCS AC? This thing? No. Oh, you mean the headgear. We actually give up a lot to do that. Yeah, we save 2 tons there, but what are we giving up? We're giving up we're giving up breaching shot. Now, maybe we're okay with that. Maybe. We want the Angel ECM combined with the stealth, since this also has another hit to sensors for the enemy, right? So we get 85% reduced stealth from that. Yeah, exactly. We could drop the ballistic ship for that. Yeah, it is 1 recoil here. We can never get it below 3 recoil, or below 1 recoil with this. We are going to have that always. The alternative is that out, that out, that out. Throw in that. And what is it left us with? Can't put battle computers in. Right? Just won't let us? Okay. We can mess with engine size, but it probably wants to be fairly quick, since if we're actually using this range, optimal is 180, and 180 is a shit range. Making this a sniper autocannon would be hilarious. Although its max range is a bit of an issue too. Like you wouldn't really get to major take advantage of that broken shit. Also, Gyro XL, its Gyro double XL actually gives us a little bit more to play with if we wanted. I think the only other way to get weight that I can think of is armor and or patchworks. We do have room for some patchwork, so that's possible. I think I liked this headgear better. It's this with like a patchwork plus something. We might be able to get that patchwork out of Nobu, but I don't think so. Yeah, I know I need a jump jet. I'm not thrilled about that. Drop ammo, but that's insane. Not dropping E-War, it's how we stay alive. We already have both XL. Light is worse than an XL for weight, right? It's only 25%. Dump the case. Could dump the case. Store the ammo. Unfortunately, neither of these things have case built into them. I'm really hesitant to reduce back armor on a mech that's going to be in fucking close range too. Seems very hard to get lower armor on this. I think the FCS AC. Yeah. That is the best way to get weight back. The question is, can we stand giving up breaching shot? I mean, the accuracy for weight is way better off these single FCS ballistic for sure. Are we okay giving up? I mean, this is the ideal candidate for breaching shot, right? Single target, a single weapon, so we always get the advantage of using it. I mean, if we're flanking, a lot of times it doesn't matter. Yeah, we'd have to go down a lot in leg armor, though. I mean, we're going to be at like 75 legs to fucking run this. Yeah, I don't want to be at 75 legs. Could drop the case. We will die if our AC20 ammo goes up. We're running XL engine, and it's not Clan XL, so we do die if our torso gets crit down. This might be able to run a TSM too, although I don't think we can get it hot enough for it to matter. Breach isn't required if you're shooting flank or back. Breach ignores cover too, though, right? I guess back already ignores cover, but we're not fast enough to guarantee getting behind them at all. Was this one of the mechs that had the weird movement, like specialty too? Like right now, this is 10-6, which isn't great. And I think there was one of the ones around here, 260, 10-6. Still 10-6, 270, 10-6, 10-6. We don't have a 280. One of these was like right on the border to what it took to get faster. $220, 5.9. So the 250 is the upgrade that gets us to the next level of movement, but it's not a very exciting level of movement. It's still very slow. I feel like this mech would really like AMS too, but it can't, right? Well, the heat sinks would have been free if we chose to do that. And we have the space to add heat sinks, so it's fine. All right, so it's basically this, or we end up swapping out the headgear, which is fine. All right, I'm gonna print screen this and throw this into Paint for us to come back to, because that looks like probably what we're doing. Probably we have to dick around with the headgear, which sucks, or figure out a way to get the patchwork off Nobu, which I kind of would like to do. We have the room for it, and it's kind of a big deal. don't worry about the case in the hand. I understand the case in the hand doesn't do anything right now. We're just looking at the modules we're putting on it. We'll figure out where the modules go exactly. What I actually want to do is I want to test that melee shit to see if it really does change the number. And we can do that. We can do that on stream. So if what you're saying then is the multiplier should be added after the weapon, because base damage is the most important stat to get in first. So we should just pull off all the armor modifications, or all the multipliers, right? It should come on last. It's just these three though, right? These are the only ones that aren't part of the thing, because we can't apply a hand later. So this is base damage off claws. What else had base damage off boots? And we want to do it sequentially, starting with boots, right? So we go boots on, confirm. Do we need a baseline? No, the axe modifiers are last, right? Since there's the axe modifier is just it's not a base damage modifier, right? So no, wait, I want base damage first. Yeah, but I want the smallest amount of base damage. So the option here then is between claws and like spiked boots. No, just weapon damage? Wait, which is it, chat? Okay. Base first, percent. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Base first and percentage is second. So there's a small amount of base damage on the leg boots. So we want that in before the claws, because the claws has a decent amount of base damage, but a shit ton of multiplier. Percentage modifiers get calculated second. She said nothing about base damage. The axe damage is base damage. No, it isn't. No, the axe does not have... There's a clear distinction. This says 66 melee damage. Read the clause. Plus 10 additional base melee damage. This number is never multiplied. There's the multiplicative part never interacts with the 66 ever. I mean, I'll tell you what, we can just do that, right? We can just throw the fucking claws in first, or the spiked axe in first. Hit confirm, run it a day. And then throw all that in. But it just means we have to load once more. All right, and then we want to run claws. Well, really, it should be legs. It should be spiked legs, boots, confirm, day, go. And it should be claws, day, go. And then it should be lower melee. Day, go. No, it's slower to load than it is to do this again. And then launch. Everyone with initiative so we can get that going. Deploy. But I'm pretty sure the order of installation on the axe makes literally no difference whatsoever, since there's a 0.06 modifier on that, so you'd like to actually put it in last, not last, but after all the base damage has been in. Did I add the hand actuator? Yeah. I think it's a lower arm actuator too, Morkula, because the hand actuators are the axe and the claw. So lower arm is, I think, lower arm actuator, not hand. All right, chat. I'm going to be right back as this loads.
Command interface initiated.
All right, 247. That number is bigger than the other numbers we've used, isn't it? Okay. So now the thing is, we need to apply the axe last, right? And check if that I'm 99% sure that makes no difference, but should apply the axe last. Yeah. So order. We want to apply the multiplicative shit on that mech last. That doesn't matter though, right? It should be, we should get that number again regardless of where we put the axe in, because it's just multipliers, right? And it doesn't matter the order in which you multiply. It just matters that the base damage is in first. If it's not multiplied, it should be more damage doing axe last. No, it should be exactly the same doing axe last. Well, very slightly more, because it's a multiplicative atom. It has a 6% multiplicative part that goes in after the base damage. Yes, it should be very slightly more. That's a big damage increase. She already does a lot of damage. We're gonna break the game. We're gonna break the mod in so many fucking ways today, chat. We're gonna break the headgear too, with that double headgear that we just picked up. Wait till you see medium pulse lasers or weapons that have the range of a medium pulse laser hitting at 700. Sure. I don't know what the max laser range is. I think it's like... It's stupid. The new version takes into account how far you move that turn for melee damage. They should allow me to path then. If they're going to do that, they need to allow me to path my mech around, because my mech has a fuck ton of movement. I could run circles around the map and come back to hit the mech I'm next to, but if I only am given the option to move one tile and my damage is based on that, that's just stupid. You know, like, I feel like, you know, like Xanadu could do it like a cricket, like scoring a fucking point in cricket, right? Runs all the way up the field, runs all the way back to punch the mech that she's standing next to, right? Like, if we're going to do it based on that. It's only sweet if they implement pathing, and even then, you think how clunky that's going to be as a player. You're going to have to path your mech as far away as you can to path it back again. You don't want to have to do that. Better than that is just not to have that be an issue. All right, so the other question was adding this very last. So we have to do it in order. Do you guys know if the order matters in terms of, can we, oh no, do we have to do this test again? Do I have to do it one day, one day, one day? That was the same way, but what if we take everything off and then just re-add it in order in one mech bay change? Fuck, we're gonna have to test it. Fuck! All right, fine. Is that all of our modifiers? I think that's all of our modifiers. It worked in ammo, didn't it? I don't remember. All right, so do you guys remember that last number? Because I don't. Thankfully, everything's recorded that I do in my life. But I don't remember the number. It was 247. Okay, so there's two. A, we should be able to duplicate that number. Let's do this for let's do this for our own sanity, which is if order matters, but all it requires is fitting order, not 1 by 1 days. That would be something. So okay, so then we would want to get the lowest modifier, the lowest percent modifier with the highest base melee change first, which would be boots, followed by claws, which are another little modifier, base modifier, and then it should be it doesn't matter after that, right? Among of they're all modifiers. So I guess this is simultaneous. Oh, but we wanted to do. Fuck. We wanted to test. First of all, that the claws. First of all, I want to get that same number again. So that's this is 2 tests. Fuck. This is 2 tests. All right. So it goes spike dax first, and then it goes leg boots, and then it goes claws, and then it goes lower melee. Right. Okay. That's a confirm. And that should get us the same number. Bro, where's my Wolverine?
Never win.
Brah.
Does not feel like 9 months already.
Thank you,
Love
Merc.
your stuff. Thanks for all the hard work, Filthy.
Cheers, man. I appreciate the resub. The support is very, very welcome. Guys stole my fucking mech. So this morning, chat, I started the stream a little bit late because there was a spreadsheet I didn't get to finish last night. I stayed up late to work on the spreadsheet, and then I wasn't done this morning, and I woke up really wanting to finish it, so I finished it this morning. It's for a game, and I shared the results with the guild that I'm playing with this game on. And my guild calls me a nerd for it. I'm like, of course, are you fucking insane? We're playing video games on the internet together, assholes. But I was really pleased with finding it out. All right, so we'll see here. Spreadsheets are the best, man. Yeah, for Crowfall, yep. It's just solving some... I had some new information come to light last night, and it fucked with some of my assumptions. I'd already solved what I wanted solved, but then I had something change, so had to redo some stuff. And I also got to update something. You know, like all the spreadsheets I build for games are iterative, right? You go, well, I need to be able to do this, and you start thinking about the problem, and you're like, well, to answer that, I need a couple of things on here. So maybe you start it being basic, and then like you come back like, okay, it solved the initial problem, and a month later you got a slightly different problem, and the spreadsheet's not quite good enough to solve that problem for you, but you need to add a little bit more information and clarify some of the stuff you did on that. And by the time you've done like the 4th iteration of that, you actually have something that's useful. All right, let's take a look. Nobu has 999 melee damage. Are we concerned about that? Everyone has 999 melee damage. Except for Sir Flipper. He only got 47. Oh, her melee damage is down to 47 now. Pardon? What now?
Our target is within sensor range.
You're a target. Give me my fucking information, bro.
Receiving you.
240. What? What was the last number? 247. So this time we tried to duplicate it, but we did it all in one go as opposed to one after the other, and we lost 7 damage. Was the ordering the same otherwise? The ordering was the same, right? What? Not mincing words, I see, Gudjun. Oh, man. Yes. Okay. Do you want to change that number up if I target people at all? Is it it's going to be a random?
Good to go. Waiting for orders.
Is it possible I forgot a piece? Maybe. All right, chat. So the only thing we care about is the impact it has on our game right now. The first order was axe, boots, claws, lower arm. That was the same order. So wait, we did the same order twice, but we did it on different days and it gave us a different fucking number. Okay. 2 last tests then. I'm now curious. I added boots first this time. I did. Not. Ha! Yeah, that's right. There's a hidden skill check on your mechanics. If you hire excellent mechanics who are high morale, they do good work. Sometimes you crit roll and your mechanic is drunk when he's installing your axe and puts it on backwards. You get no damage out of it. Chat, you want to know something else? I wonder if. Oh, chat, we'd have to test so many other things. I don't want to test any more things. Don't want to. But what if we went in there and put in? What if it saves the order that you start the fitting in the mech bay, but not to the order which you finally fitted in? So let's say I put on. So what if we applied? Okay, so we've been trying to do the optimal order. What about the worst order? Worst order would be claws on last. Well, we get the 1.4 modifier there. Okay, so what we actually want to do is if we can duplicate order but not duplicate Chat, can you guys check the VODs for me? Which one of them had the cleanest install of mods? In other words, which one of them was just one mod, one mod, one mod, one mod each time? That was the first time, right? And that was very clearly axe, then boots, then claws, then lower arm, right? So if we put on lower melee arm first, then pull it off, and then do axe, boots, claws, lower arm, it should be the most different, right? Okay. Okay, so we got to test this one and then one more. And the next one we have to test is, so this is there an impact of fake fitting something? Yeah, I also worry about that too, Sphinx. We haven't seen our heat behave strangely, though. Mostly because there's no base heat I mean, maybe there is base heat generation stuff. I guess there is. Although it's not a plus or minus. Maybe it is in the mod. Or with the stealth shit. No, I don't play Civ anymore. We're not using different pilots, but no, it doesn't matter.
Command interface initiated.
Ordered.
240. How did we get 247 the first time then? But what does that mean though? Okay, as 247 was the day-by-day install, sure. But what does that actually mean in terms of what the fuck's going on? Why is this sequencing different if we put it all in at once than if we put it in one at a time? Rounding. You're telling me that it doesn't recalculate when you put another piece on? It just multiplies from the rounded number? All right, final test then is axe order, which is which I'm pretty sure is going to show nothing because the axe should we should actually get a very slight increase putting the axe on last, right? Chat. This is why I don't know, some of you have been around for a long time in my channel or not, and occasionally someone will come into my chat. This happened more in Civ than it did in any other game, but it still occasionally happens in other games, where someone will say, chill man, it's just a game. And I'll be like, excuse me? What did you just fucking say? You know, like, yes, but we spend time and effort and thought thinking about these things, right? Like, gotta treat this shit like a career. I want to know. Don't you want to know how it works? Look under the hood. Make sure we got it all right. You make decisions based on how things work. If you don't know how shit works, you're stuck doing shitty things. And who wins? Two people of equal skill, one of whom understands the game and one of whom doesn't. Who wins that game? I think I have a sympathetic crowd with the Battletech, with the Roguetech crew, because I think the Roguetech crew is used to the min-maxy element, because that's a lot of what Roguetech is. But some games, people give me a lot of shit about it. Yes, well, that's currently what we're experiencing. Yeah, right. But the game mechanics for hidden foster thing of emerge. I hate that argument too, dude. Went through 100% on that one. That's such an annoying argument. I hate it when devs are not transparent with what's going on. This is good because I part of me was like, I wasn't really done with my spreadsheets. That's kind of like part of me was like, I want to spend more spreadsheet time, but this is good. This is kind of like spreadsheet time. It's a little bit more loading than on an Excel spreadsheet or a Google Docs spreadsheet, but it's okay. I can put up with a little bit of loading. All right. So then we want to do day-by-day install with the axe. Okay, we don't. We want to do all-at-one install, and then we want to do day-by-day install. We want to do the all-at-one install comparing claws, or comparing spiked axe first to spiked axe last. Spiked axe. So we're comparing to the 240 number with this install. Okay. All right. So this goes boot, claws, lower melee, spiked axe. Call it a day. Call it a mission. Chat, you don't know this yet, but a little bit later during the stream, I will be requesting money from all of you, and I will blame it on the fact that we need a faster PC to handle this type of gameplay. I'll be like, chat, I just don't think I can do it anymore. Got to get those donations rolling in to get this next second computer so we can get a faster load screen. It's a long con setup. I've been doing it for weeks. The entire Battletech gaming platform has just been for that. It's been the long con. Loading intensifies back on screen. Agreed. Right. Strategy gaming life. I mean, I do think that way about life. Not exactly what I just described, but like you apply thinking about it. All right. So we're expecting 240 as an outcome, but we're not entirely certain yet.
Orders.
171. Get fucked. What? That's not even multiplied. It's additive at the end of the equation. It doesn't even go on. There's no way axe should be in there last. It doesn't affect base damage. What is being... It can't even make... That doesn't even make sense. What is the distinction between base damage and real damage then? All right, can we get to the 240 number?
Primary target on screen, Commander.
All right, can we make some of these numbers that we've just seen work then? Okay, so not only have we been lied to about, or not lied to, not only does it not make any sense in terms of ordering, but apparently base damage and real damage are the same fucking thing. This was axe install last, right? On this one, I'm not insane. I mean, I could be. I mean, we don't know. I guess those don't prove one thing or the other. But this is 171 axe install last. So what do you guys think the math on that looks like then? You're thinking they're adding after multiplying just because of that? You know what else that means too, chat? Annoyingly. Like really fucking obnoxiously annoyingly. Means I can't reach my escape key apparently. Where is the escape key? Really, game? Did I break my escape key? I can escape out of the escape menu, but I can't activate the escape menu using escape? Of course. Right, that's what I'm getting at, Zero. If all of the... it means base damage is a hell of a lot better as a stat. Especially large base damage, because you can apply a large base damage. I guess if they don't come paired.
Kind gesture.
Jesus. Learning. Learning's painful sometimes, isn't it? Thank you to Saltman. Thank you for the donation. I was not soliciting donations for computers. My computer is very good right now. Thank you. But thank you for the support. And I know you guys, most of you know I was joking, but I know there was also some recent streamer shit where some streamers were being pretty fucking, pretty ugly on stream about it. So every time we update a melee mech, we basically have to rebuild it from start. Perfect. All right. Just so long as we're all on the same page, to Salman. Yeah, so what we've seen, I think Pen's probably got the best hypothesis so far, which is everything rounds up, all the multiplication happens sequentially after the fact. So you want to get all the plus and can we get the 171 to work? Can we get that number with math, like, or close enough to that number with math that we can believe that this is accurate? So this was, I mean, this was definitely boots, claws, arm, axe. Do we have any sense yet if the fucking tooltip of minus modifier is wrong yet? Let's say it is. Let's start. Okay, let's see if we can make this work. Gaming is relaxing. I find this relaxing, Kitchen. I find this more relaxing as a streamer than I did as a pure gamer. Because as a pure gamer, the issue was always any time I spent theory crafting was time I could not spend playing and vice versa. So here I feel like I have the time to actually explore what I want to explore. So for this, I guess then we're looking at starting wise. 55. We saw boots first, which add 5. But where did no chat. Where do the 1.1s come in? Because they're there first. All the existing ARM components are there first. Those only multiply the base. That would explain why that ARM was such a huge damage increase then, by the way. Because we went from an ARM that was, we went from a upper ARM or lower ARM module that was 10% of 55. So, you know, 5.5, right? So it was a 5.5 damage increase off that ARM. And then instead it goes to a 20% increase of 55 plus 66 plus 15, right? So 55 and 15 is 70 plus 66 is 133. So it went from, and then 20% of 133 is 26 or something, right? So it goes from a 5-point damage increase, a 5.5 damage increase on the base one, to a 26-point increase on the component. Is that reflective at all of the math we got when we actually added the arm, out of curiosity? Okay, well, the TLDR gained about 35. Going from 5.5 to 26 still doesn't really make sense then. Okay, but going forward, it's pretty clear. Every time we get a new new melee piece on the Wolverine, it needs to be rebuilt day by day. I don't understand why it has to be day by day. The rounding, I guess. So it needs to be rebuilt day by day every single time we pick up a piece of hardware. I see. I see. Okay, so then our tasks this morning are build the AC boat, rebuild the Wolverine, okay, and then we need to ditch we're building a catapult, right? Am I imagining that? We're building a catapult. What's the timing on it? Still a while out. We should look at refitting the, we're going to be loading one more time regardless of what happens here, so let's just move it forward a day and take a look. Excuse me. If you do day by day, it might calculate the end day. Right, that's what we're looking at, Tom. That's what we're concerned about, yep. All right. So what is the other thing we're potentially looking at again, because we're never happy with this mech, is can we cheese bombast lasers? Well, it's not cheesing. Can we take advantage of the tools given to us in the mod to build something absurd? And which platform do we need to do that on? I think the Predator is too light of a platform to do it. Although, do we know how much weapon space this thing actually has comparatively? 5, 11. This has 15 tons. The other thing's got about 20 tons, right? So we're looking at these. Wait for an assault? We don't have an assault, and we can do this now, and it's too powerful to ignore, especially when I'm super unimpressed with this thing too. The SRMs are fine. Like the SRM, this is 4 SRM launchers, and it's been okay. We want the heat mech still. I think that's fine. But we can transfer that heat mech onto the catapult since we're building the catapult, right? The catapult's got about probably 10, 12 days before it's ready, maybe a little bit longer. I don't think it was an Omni. But so we can dump the SRMs into the catapult, which has 4 arm-based launchers, get an improvement in terms of the accuracy on our SRMs while still keeping the heat boat going right there. So if we instead, I don't know if we're gonna get the ability to run it on small boy or not, but we can take a look. We should at least take a look at what that looks like, because it's got to go somewhere. Well, I am a little worried about the heat stuff because mostly there's no flat heat. Well, I mean, I guess every weapon technically is a flat heat modifier. I don't know. I would love someone else to test that so I don't have to go do that. But anyways, so if we believe here, should we believe a little? But let's say we believe a lot. I'd love to use this someday. But anyways, where are we going? We're going with weapon. We want to try these bombasts, see if we can actually get the heat to be reasonable to use these at extreme range, which seems unreasonable, but hey, I didn't make the fucking mod. I just play it. So we're looking at an FCS Predator and a possibly enhanced imaging and a possibly not even needed though, quite honestly. Like our accuracy is always going to be insane and we're using laser weapons. It may just be better not to use that. Keep the cockpit mod. And what's the other one called? And where is it? It's called a... It's not here. Oh, because we were testing it. It's probably still on the Predator. Yeah, sensor tracker. All right. Is this a direct... What? I didn't see... oh, I was supposed to be repair. And this is supposed to be a direct port of the tabletop. Can you do this in tabletop? Those of you who play this in tabletop? Have you guys considered running both mods that increased your optimal to ridiculous ranges? So the sensor tracker and the Predator are the two that stack. It's nothing to do with tabletop. I thought it was almost a direct port of all the stats of all the mechs into from tabletop. But maybe I'm not understanding that. Maybe I read that somewhere and I was wrong, or that wasn't what they said. So this one makes the accuracy equal to neutral. Say we put the laser AMS somewhere else. It's a little greedy, but let's say we really wanted to take advantage of this, which we do. They're making stuff up based on lore. Oh, I see. I guess really what that makes me ask is lore. What did it do for anyone? All right, we can't use this with lasers, or we can. Arm-mounted ballistics or PPCs. Good thing we're not going to be doing that. We'll just throw 3 bombasts on here. Yes, yes. What would you say the range on this is? Optimal, max 510, and we hit all the way out. Sure. We're a little light on tons already. There's no more weight to be had in a mech of this size, right? So the weight things you can do are core, engine conversion, gyro, armor, internals, and patchworks. Every time we look at this, okay, but this is, I mean, to be fair, we just put 21 tons of weaponry on it. What was the other thing we were considering? What does that pirate do? By the way, what is the pirate lasers max? Because the only thing, actually, even that's not, what, okay. Oh my God, chat, what is the extreme range penalty? Is it better or worse than +6? This is 4 accuracy at extreme range, and that's 3 accuracy extreme range. That's 7. Extreme range is 8. And extreme range is any laser can fire at any range, or extreme range is a multiplier of the max range? Because right now, my concern is, okay, this small pirate laser has max range of 260. I don't know if that's actually a max range, because isn't extreme range like outside the max range? Isn't that what it's defined as? So I know there's currently optimal, no change. Short range, or long range rather, or It's not called that. I think it's called like short or something, where it's +2 for being outside of your optimal, but it's still pretty close. Then it's long range, which is +4 as a modifier. And then I don't know what extent ER is. Yeah, medium range. That's right. It's optimal, medium, long, and then extreme. But I don't know what extreme is. But let's say it was this. So let's say that we care slightly about the optimal. Or the max range on a weapon system. Oh, this was also supposed to be the chem lasers, wasn't it? Do these weigh much? I want to run this. No, optimal is not medium range. Medium range is a penalty that when you're outside of optimal. Optimal is optimal. Do I have enough ammo for 2 of them? No, I don't. But I want to use them. But let's say it was just bombast. We might not be. I mean, realistically, we already can't afford the heat of this, I don't think. I know I have a heat exchanger floating around somewhere. What? Oh, it weighs 3. I thought it weighed 1, but sure. Okay. I think optimal is medium. Well, that's the border, right? Under 300 is optimal. 300 plus is medium. But it doesn't matter because the whole point of this is as long as we're not. Okay, and what do the bombast do? The actual issue is we lose 1 accuracy when we're in optimal. Well, maybe not. Maybe short range is not that. Sinking more than I generate before the exchanger. 21, 21, 21, right? Because we do have the engine core +4 in there. Which if we have heat sinks, we might not actually need. We have plenty of space right now, so we don't have to run that. We could run less. But I kind of wanted to. This is 4 tons, right? We might be still get AMS on here. But just out of curiosity, what does this put out? We need to look up the bombast lasers again. Because they did something insane, right? Bombast laser. Alright, so standard range, short is 150. So short is half of your medium. And medium is outside your optimal. And short's a set that normally doesn't do anything because it normally does no penalty, but here it will. So we would, with this thing, want to be between 150 and infinite. Max range is 510 on a bombast standard. How do we get that number? That is what it actually says. So that is extreme range then. Long is more than 450. Okay. So if we convert this to the other versions, we can get a higher damage version that drops range and gives us 80 damage for 31 heat. That's the one we're interested in.
You have returned.
Thank you, Concormistar, for the 16 months. And that gives us 80 range, 31 heat, -1 accuracy, +1 recoil. All right, 31 heat 3 times is 93. 93 with the modifier of 20%. 10% of 93 is 9, so 20 of that's 18. So we're still over more than we want to be. And I guess this is, we're now venting 69. And what did I say? It was 93 minus 18. So that's 83. So it's like 75, I think. And we're venting 69. So we're a little under, but we could throw a heatsink in or so. We make this a throw that in to make it the double conversion kit from clan, which kind of sucks, but I don't have any clan ones, so. All right, let me just do math to make sure, because I'm doing math in head on stream, which is always fatal. So let's take a look. We're doing 31 times 3 times 0.8. So we're getting 74.4. Great. And then we're sinking right now 60, 72, and then 72 is 81. So we're heat neutral right now. Okay. Yeah, okay, but sure, we'll add the exchanger last, sure. Okay. So we can fire the bombast lasers every single turn at an optimal of, we don't want to be in short range so we get minus. I mean, it's already giving us minuses for this. It gives us -1 accuracy already. But the range is at 150. Between more than 100 is better, and that's it. Anything, and under 410. More than 100 and less than 410 with these. And we're hitting for 83 times. This is doing 240 damage at medium ranges. Did anything come close to that? That's like double the damage that we picked up on the Predator we're running now. And doesn't the pirate laser weigh like 1 ton or something? Half a ton? The little pirate baby laser? Small pirate baby laser at 1.5 tons. I mean, this thing did generate like fucking derp levels of heat. So we wanted to put that on there. And the other things, what else can we look at? Like PPCs are already so what we're looking for to maximally take advantage of the Predator and sensor tracking stacking would be weapons that you haven't paid heat or weight for range. You're looking for very low optimal weapons. Autocannons come to mind, although autocannons are very expensive in terms of weight for damage anyways. I think energy is what you get, right? Energy is low range. Well, some of the energy, like medium pulses. And what does this look like with just like 21 medium pulses or something? This is 21 tons of weaponry. How efficient are these compared on a ton-to-ton basis? On a ton-to-ton basis, nothing's better than a medium laser, right? Yeah. I don't have that many. I only have medium lasers. I don't have medium pulses, chat. And the medium pulses are a little bit better in terms of heat efficiency anyways. But let's say we use something like that. Just like medium lasers. Where did our medium lasers go? Got 12. How much heat are we realistically dealing with on this? Not much more than the 4 off that. For 24 is 84 plus 93 plus 20% of that. Okay, about 100. We're probably realistically venting about 110 heat maybe max on this mech. How do we get 110 heat? That's still 12 of these. And 12 200s are 240. Actually identical heat to the 3, identical damage with basically identical heat to the bombast. A little bit more heat from the mediums. Spread out across more. Yeah, it's interesting. Now, I bet you these ones do better. So these are doing 60 damage. Well, they can rotary. Okay, rotary chemical lasers have select fire of 1 to 6 shots, but have +1 recoil and a chance of jam 5% on each shot after 1. I think that's stacking. Is the 6th shot 6 recoil, or is the 6th shot, I guess it would be 5 recoil, or is the 6th shot 1 recoil and 5% jam? Does not say that this is mitigated by gunnery skill, although I want to look that up. What is this medium rotary laser? Is it medium chem rotary or a medium rotary chem? Medium rotary chem. Okay. Okay. Oh, look, that gives us the whole breakdown on this. You can actually get this to 0 jam chance at 12 gunnery skill, even on 6. And recoil does go up to 5 on that. .12 gunnery skill is obtainable. Well, what if we did that? What does it do? Who wants to know? All right, so let's say, so what is the actual potential of this? Is it 18 heat per shot then? Or 18 heat total? It says it does 36. Oh, it's 18 for a round of 3. So it's 36 for that. Okay. So if we put this thing on, this thing does 120 damage per one of these mounted. 2 120s is 240, by the way, chat, which is the same as 83s. But so we could get 2 of them on. It weighs 8 tons, as opposed to 21 tons. It weighs 8 tons as opposed to 21 tons, leaving us 13 tons to play with. We have to get the recoil down. I haven't seen like anti-recoil laser systems. Sure, ammo. I mean, the ammo does not weigh shit though, right? So this gives us 30 shots for 1 ton. And it's shooting 6, so it gives us 5 rounds per ammo. So if we it's 5 rounds per launcher per ammo. We have 1 ammo. We got 1 ammo recently. That is 3 rounds with 2 guns at 6 shots. Sure. But I don't think realistically we can run 2. I'm just trying to look at later on when we get more chemical medium ammo, is there something we want to do with that? And it feels like the answer is yes. This thing seems fucking absurd. It's going to be a really high skill level to do it because we need 12 gunnery skill to put 0. I mean, we could go to 5% jam chance or something, but you get my point. Like around 11, 10, between 10 and what is it at 10? At 10, it's 6%. So realistically, we would want this around 10. 10 gunnery skill would probably do it every single time. It's not like it explodes when it jams. It just jams. And the recoil is going to be a huge fucking bitch. What are we going to do about huge bitch recoil? I mean, we could do it every other turn, and although that really nerfs its damage. So what could we do with the recoil? What's the max range to? Max range is pretty low. Max is 330, so it's a little bit harder to use with the double cockpit thing. How do we get recoil down? You can get 2 out of it from being a skilled pilot, so that brings it from 5 to 3. If we want to fire this every round, how do we dump 3 more recoil? This is just recoil with ranged weapons, so that would do it. But we have to get a computer that lets us use lasers. That's 1 recoil with ranged weapons right there. So we can get 2 of it down just from headgear. Oh, but the headgear count, it does not fit with the Predator stuff. Shit. Okay, so we can't realistically use that unless we're shooting it every other turn to negate recoil. If we were... Think about the heat efficiency from that too, chat. What if we built a mech that only ever fired every other turn, but its alpha was like 10k? Xanabu, you missed some of the greatest gameplay we've ever had. So we just ran this stupid fucking thing. I mean, we can run it permanently at 3, right? I mean, we could just put more of them on. That would solve that too. Just feels like inefficient to only run that at 3. We can easily get -2 recoil off that then. Actually, -4 recoil. We could run it at 4 shots too. It's just not as good as the bombast when it starts being lower than 6. Probably don't want to watch that. This morning we spent like an hour doing the melee math on stream. Turns out melee math in this game is pretty fucked. Like, yeah, good damage a ton, but we don't have enough medium rotary and also we A, don't have enough medium rotary lasers. B, it takes too many slots. These are 4 tons, 5 slots, and C, we don't have enough fucking ammo. So we would need more of these. We can get more of these. You're not more badass yet. So far we've made no changes. We're still theory crafting here. I mean, we could attempt to run a mixed bag here. If we pull a bombast, we have to think about this pirate laser in a minute, but let's pull a bombast for now. Drop in a chem laser. Chem laser does not get the arm bonus, unfortunately. I mean, it can, but we have to move the bombast around. So this then is 160 off these two. Is this thing gonna put out 80? No, even if well, it hits 120 actually on an alpha. So instead of 80, 80, 80, instead of 240 a round, we'd have to fire this every other round. So what would that actually look like? This would be, what did I say? 80 twice, 160, 160, and 60 is 220? No, it is 120. So it's 120 and 160. So it's 280. It's 280 followed by, oh my god, filthy. It's 280 one round followed by 160 the next round for an average of, that's 440. So an average of 220 a round. And what is it with the 3? It's 240 with the 380s. It's just worse. This isn't low range. Saves us tonnage. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. I already did the chem laser 6 times, 20 damage. But we're heat neutral off the 3 bombasts already. And we only have enough rounds for a single I mean, that would be 10 rounds of firing if we're only using it every other turn, but we're going to be you're really incentivized to take short-term hits for immediate advantage, or like long-term hits for immediate advantage. You're incentivized to risk jams, to fire through recoils, etc., because getting shit off the field is much more valuable than waiting a turn for a better shot. I don't think the bombasts are better. I think the bombasts are worse, but I think on this mech right now, we don't have the ability to support the rotary lasers. We need more ammo and more rotary lasers, I think. And more skilled pilots, correct. That's a good point. That's actually a very good point. So the question is then, there was a weight issue, but we just got it back somehow. What did we just miss? Oh, we pulled the pirate laser off. Are we gonna try to run this pirate laser? I'm a little interested. I don't know how it gets 12 times 3 times 2 for 72. Where's the 2? Weapon has a recoil of 2.